room to move around. And
Sorry
usually
about
wears
that,
like a hooded cloak with the hood usually down.
Let's go ahead and get to our
not like anything super fitted or the like. The outfit that he switched into is probably something a little nicer. I was thinking it's maybe like not silks, but something with like little like short kind of like capri pants length.
All right. As you approach your noble's house,
trousers,
which looks like a very
like a shirt
contemporary
open, kind of like a V-neck thing with little
complete
sleeves
with
about
a
halfway.
path
What's
on
the
the outside.
noble
Hang on,
house?
Kyle and Rob, are you hearing each other? Kyle,
I didn't even know Kyle was back. I thought he was
still
with
us.
Kyle and
I'm
Rob, I think, are not seeing.
Oh, are we in the game still? I thought we were still on break.
Correct.
Hang on, he just started talking, and give us a second.
I didn't realize we were back from break. I thought we were still on break.
I didn't realize that I had needed to reconnect. Here we are.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I thought we were still break because I thought that you had disappeared.
That's all right.
Are you back to streaming again?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, let me rehost. Sorry about that. I didn't even know we were back. I feel stupid now. I thought that you just turned your cam off because we were on break.
Well, it's been funny all evening, so.
Well, yeah, but
yeah, it's been super disconnecty.
It has.
Because I'll see Kyle cut out, and that's when I'll refresh, and then he'll come back.
The only person I think I've been seeing reconnecting has been you. I think maybe at one point somebody else disconnected very briefly, and I reconnected. I've had to reconnect like twice.
Yeah, because for me, I see Kyle just vanish, and that's when I know I need to reconnect. But he's right back once I do. So we got a house.
Oh yeah. So if anything happened before this, I missed it because I didn't realize we were back to playing. Nope, I thought we were still on break.
You were tango bango. 2 seconds.
In the house.
Yep, so there is a house. This is our noble's house. FYI, I am currently under tornado watch.
Oh, that's fun.
If I disappear and then don't come back in a minute, that's probably going to be it.
Didn't you have weird weather last week too? Or was it someone else?
This is the Midwest. I got nothing.
As you say, it looks like whatever's hitting you is going to be getting to me in soon. So it looks like we got like a 90% chance of like rain and thunderstorms from like 11 to like 1 a.m. So that's fun.
All right, so with my ominous thunder in the background, but no ominous thunder in the game. As you approach the noble's house, you can see that it's 2 stories. It is very well done. The lawn itself looks very freshly manicured. Its bushes are immaculate. You can see from the outside that the windows have just been redone. Everything about it looks new, as opposed to the rest of the buildings in the area, which all look well used and well maintained, but older.
New as in months, years? Does the soil around it still look dug up?
It looks like it's starting to settle.
Okay.
So, as you approach, you are greeted by the smell of meat.
Nice. Do we need to announce you here too?
I'll handle the announcing for this part.
Okay.
And as you approach the front door, the same lady as previous opens and says, "Oh, you have arrived. Excellent. Come in. And she seats you. She seats you in the foyer of the house. Well, I don't believe the master is coming quite just yet, but please do sit, relax. He will be with shortly."
And Dwell just sort of looks around the room, takes a look at where the master would most likely be coming from, and then points Phelan and himself to the chairs that they would see first, and then Cloud and Braces to the chairs he would most likely see last. Sort of ease into this one.
She's going to be like defaulting to Dwayne a lot and just kind of like looking at him occasionally for some sort of cue if need be.
Take a seat, fold my hands in my lap, just kind of taking in the whole place.
And, she'll sit and she'll probably lean her cane up against the chair and just try to, I don't know, not stand out so much, which is kind of impossible, but hey.
How nice is the inside of this house?
It's recently refurbished. Everything looks the same as the outside, relatively new. Most of it looks to be from different areas around the land.
Any books in the sitting room? Or wherever we happen to be?
Specifically in the sitting room, no. There is a map against the wall of the Sword Coast itself, but there are no novels to be consumed.
Felon will examine the map, but when he grows bored of that, he'll sit down and twiddle his thumbs and lean over to Dwell and say, "What kind of man doesn't have books in his sitting room?"
This sort of man who believes himself to be entertaining?
I doubt that very much so. Felon pulls out his own book that he brought and begins reading.
Is the young woman still about?
No, she's sequestered off to the side.
How long was all this iron problem going on again?
So this was about, I believe it was about a month that we had discussed, with it really being amplified or coming through in the last 2 weeks.
Because she's looking up at the map of the Sword Coast, and Callum Chan's way at the bottom, and just kind of pondering to herself that there's no way that Jabbar could have known and gotten all that stuff. And just, it all being iron, it just, to her, it's kind of, there's something about it that's bothering her, but she doesn't have enough of a thought to really put it into words yet. It just seems off. But for now, she's kind of pondering that, especially with the map where it is.
All right, so Felon, at your comment of what kind of person doesn't have any books in here, you see a rather young, very tan, striking young man walk into the room and say,
She'll ask Doyle, "Do you think we're being left to wait on purpose?"
Most certainly. If you wish for conversation, we certainly may speak. How did you find the camp?
Some ways better and some ways worse than I thought it was going to be. The people didn't seem like they were being terribly abused. I mean, obviously accidents happen. That's what I was trying to help with while we were there.
"I'm coming."
But people seem to be in better spirits than I was expecting, especially for a place that looks like that. I guess I'm still confused as to why they don't really have any clothing.
Most likely heat and expense. If they're wishing to maximize their profit or their return for working, they would want to damage their clothing as little as possible.
But they'll damage themselves, and then they can't work at all.
People are cheap and
Some people.
Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties on my end here.
We believe in you, Kyle.
The young lady approaches again, out of the side of the room, seeing that all of you look a little bit delayed, and apologizes. I'm sorry, my lord. He. This is a tactic he always uses with his new guests. He always delays. I have brought refreshments for you, and I apologize on behalf of my lord.
Oh, no reason to apologize.
Does your lord have a library in his home?
Yes, I believe it's towards the back of the house. It's not very well used, I believe, in this location.
May I? And Felon stands up and starts moving towards the where she pointed.
As Felon gets up, you see a rather young and tan gentleman kind of stride into the room. All in good time, sir. I apologize for the delay. I had other matters to attend to, and in the background you kind of hear just like a girly squeal, and he kind of straightens out a blue robe that he has tossed to the side. Again, I apologize for the delay. Won't you please come this way? Food is being plated right now.
Felon would shrug and say, "Lead the way."
The guests first, and then he kind of claps his hands and, Rebecca, lead the way. And the little girl kind of scurries off in the direction of the kitchen.
So as Dwell passes the Lord, just a quick sizing up, shorter, taller.
He is actually quite short, but he's just beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see the picture for it.
No, he's a handsome man.
He's shorter, but he's strikingly handsome, bright blue eyes, and he's making uncomfortable amounts of eye contact with each of you as you walk by and towards the dining room. You can see the dining room through the doorway, which is open, and beyond there, you imagine the kitchen is kind of behind it. You hear plates clanging and things like that, but the dining room itself is a large grand room, big long table and a huge chandelier. I apologize for the mess, but we are currently under construction at the moment. This place, it was not to my standards when I got here. I've only had a month, so please pardon the work.
Certainly, Lord Aiden. Do you prefer which end of the table?
Oh, naturally, I will sit at the head of the table, but Lord Dwale, you are welcome to join me at the other side. I know it's a long table, but this room has excellent acoustics.
Wonderful.
And he does a grand gesture and bow towards Lord Dwale and kind of gestures his arm out towards the seating. And as you guys are walking around the table, you actually see like napkins with embroidery with the first letters. So you see a B, and you see what looks to be a C, but it's not quite. It's kind of like a half C, half S, because he's just not quite sure. And then a very decorative F as well for all the seating for each of you.
Nice.
Do you say that?
Yeah, Felon would nod and say, "Nice."
I'll take that as a compliment. I hope small hen is good for you. Each of you will have your own, of course. My cooks, they're the finest that this village offers.
Excellent, and it is a welcome hospitality in this rustic neighborhood.
Yes, I'm sure Lord as yourself is not used to such accommodations. I do apologize for calling you over to my house in the middle of construction, but I do need your help with something. But this is discussion for later. We can all sit down and let's have our meal together first. We do not need to discuss such things at the moment. And so, he makes a big gesture, a big whip around of taking the dark blue robe off and kind of laying it on his chair, and he gestures to all of you to sit down first. As you guys sit down, he just kind of claps, and just servants pour in from both sides behind him, carrying plates of just stuff. You see something like big mounded bowls of what could be potatoes, but you're not sure. You've never seen them in that shape before. But the smells coming off of everything are fantastic. But it seems like they're doing this grand dance around the table. They're not quite putting anything down yet, but you see it all circling you. And eventually they just kind of stand behind you and wait for you all to kind of get yourselves comfortable and sat down. And they're just standing there awkwardly behind you with the food.
Theseus is going to wrap her tail around the chair because people dancing around are probably either going to trip or step on it somehow. And it's kind of making her a little uncomfortable. She's, that awkward smile kind of thing, like, oh, this is new.
All right, so seeing that you're a little bit uncomfortable, he responds with another, quick 3 claps, and they just kind of, in the strangest soft motion, just kind of set the plates down in the middle, and they go to, there's 2 large platters in the middle that are covered with a silver dome, and they release the lid, and there's mounds of steam coming out, and it's a big bushel of something green. And it smells okay, but it's not the best smell you've ever had. And then one of the larger servants comes and with a giant tray of tiny little hens, and starts setting one down at each plate, each place setting. And then Lord Aiden sits down as well and says, please eat. And he snaps his fingers, and the servants just all start walking out.
Joel just gives a little golf clap. Aiden, that was very impressive. Now, you can't possibly have, in just such a short time, trained the locals to put on so elegant a display. How many of these servants did you bring with you?
Well, you'd be surprised. They're actually quite trainable in this town if you know their price. And he just kind of winks at you. But I brought 4 of my own, and the rest I've picked up around town. They were quite eager for payment, if you understand my meaning.
I do, and that is quite an accomplishment. We must discuss that at some point. I myself have just decided to take these 3 into my patronage, and some of the surprise you might see on their faces uh, lends itself to that. Um, Master Phelan here is only recently of Candlekeep, a notable scholar. Uh, the tiefling Ambrosius is of Lathander and in his service, and Cloud, the Tabaxi, uh, I keep with me for his unique perspective.
Throughout this whole thing, Aiden is just nodding and nodding and just seems kind of totally comfortable talking about people as though they're not right there in the room. Um, and yes, these seem like worthy companions that you have gathered. Have you been traveling together for long?
Only a short while. We actually gathered, having heard some concern, and that the may be requesting aid with the troubles with the iron. They seem uniquely suited to the task, so we headed in this direction. And your invitation was a welcome opportunity to speak on it. But I'm getting ahead of myself and speaking business. Uh, should we enjoy some of this wonderful repast?
Please, please, help yourselves. There's plenty of food to go around, and no one need leave hungry this evening. My house is open to you all for whatever you may need this evening. And with that, he just starts kind of awkwardly cutting at the chicken. He's not quite sure how to eat it. He's like this. He just kind of shakes his head as he's trying to cut into it. He's not used to eating stuff that isn't already like cut into bite-sized pieces for him. So
I want to see what the big cat does to the little bird.
And so, after a few awkward, minutes of, clanking of silverware from everybody, I imagine, he gestures to Felon and is like, your robes, I love that color on you. That's very good. You're from Candlekeep, no?
Yes, these are the robes of the avowed. It's what we wear when we're doing whatever needs to be done. It looks a little fancier than it really is. Most of the time, it's wandering around stacks trying to figure out where some monk left a book 100 years ago. It's rather less glamorous than it seems, but they look nice, I suppose. So appreciate the compliment.
He just continually chewing the same piece of chicken and nodding.
Right. And what do you do, Lord Aiden? As I do this, I give Dwale like a little like a glance and like a yeah, that was good, right?
What do I do? Well, I do many things. I mean, my family has been in for centuries. We the House of Velen is well known in this area, very prosperous,
Yes.
and I felt that it was my time to start making a name for myself in this world. And when I was appointed to oversee this Armenian mine, I took up the challenge.
And how are you finding being a mine overseer? Is it enjoyable or rather dull?
As you guys are talking, Dwell just sort of lifts his cup in toast when he says he's taking on his own undertaking, and then drinks, but he doesn't interrupt. Just sort of gives the quick salute.
Yeah, he he also salutes and kind of makes another weird, different. Each of these noises is distinctly different, snapping, clapping noise, and more servants come in to refill drinks, and then leave the canisters of a delicious red-looking liquid on the counter, and he says, "But this is more work talk. Again, I want to know more about you." More, what brings you all here, and why is this mine a concern of yours? I know why it matters to me, but what does this matter to you?
Well, I personally find it a rather interesting development, and I'd rather like to get to the bottom of it because anything that's doing the issues that the mine has been facing are rather unique, at least as far as I could tell, and I think it'll be an interesting little challenge. And as you say, it'll allow me to make a name for myself.
He seems very amused. Like you seem very. He's responding to you seeming very like pleased and checking with Dwale and like just yes, this is good, and he's just responding in kind with oh yes, you're trying. This is cute, and he motions over to the uncomfortable-looking tiefling, and is like, I apologize. I did not modify my chairs to accommodate your tail. I was not thinking. Are you comfortable enough? Do you need me to get you something else?
Oh no, I'm fine. I was just worried about tripping your people.
Oh, no worries there.
I'm perfectly alright.
My servants are skilled in the acrobatic arts. They're used to stepping over construction stuff. Don't worry about them. I'm more concerned about you. What, I noticed you have lovely clothings on too. Not a single tear on any of yours. That's quite an accomplishment being an adventurer. What brings you to this land?
She kind of just looks down at herself. It's like in her head, like really, but I'm from far inland. I'm from Daggerdale initially, and I felt I had a purpose that I needed to find. So I left, and I am learning a lot of new things on the way. And I was learning recently about this problem with the iron and how it's affecting people. And I want to help how I can in making sure that people aren't hurt too badly because of what's going on here.
This is quite the noble cause you have taken up, then. Very selfless of you. I do not see such. I do not come across many tieflings in my area, but I have known them in stories that were read to me. That I don't believe that they're always so selfless, so caring. What is the god that you follow and revere?
Lathander.
Oh, Lathander.
I was taken. Yes, I was taken in when I was young, and I was raised in one of the temples.
Well, he takes a big gulp of his wine, and he nods in agreement, and he gulps it down, and I know Lathander well. He is of new beginnings. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, he and I get along very well. We would you know we enjoy the same things in life. I feel like we would. I am not of the cloth as you are, but I've heard of his teachings, and it is something that I strongly agree with. It is nice to have you here in my home, and just as I was telling Lord Dwale, anything you need, any accommodation that I can help you with while you're staying here in town, I'd be happy to do. So please, do not be shy. And
She'll just nod and yeah, she'll smile and nod and thank you very much, sir.
he's motions to all the food. Please keep eating. Is this okay? I should have thought ahead of time. Chicken, feline. I do not know what are you, sir? I don't believe that I've quite seen your kind around here before. But I am curious. I mean you
There goes the thunder here.
no offense.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's happening here too.
Yeah, no, it's the first time I think I've heard it on this side, making its way across the lake. Continue. Sorry.
No, please. Is the food good for you? Cloud, it is, yes, or seven clouds.
Seven Cloud Chaser. Cloud is fine. I am new to your lands. This Sword Coast, as I hear it called. I come from across the sea, and in my travels, I am here to gather stories. I'm here to hear the tales of those who live here. He gestures to Felon, says, our paths crossed. He had much that he had read about, and it seems our paths converged and continuing the same direction for a while, so I decided to travel with them. My plan, such as it is just to leave the path in my wake a little brighter than I left it. I gather the stories of others and leave behind a song and hopefully a smile.
Well, we have someone who wants to tell stories, someone who is able to transcribe stories, and he motions to Felin, and somebody who is here to help the story continue. It seems. Lord Dwale, what is your role in your little band of adventurers here? You don't, forgive me for saying so, but you don't quite strike me as the adventuring type. Men of our stature typically don't stray too far out of our homes and our lands.
Well, perhaps much like yourself, my lord, the shadow of my family is rather a large one, and I am not content to stay within it. I prefer to cast my own. So I have left Waterdeep and was actually planning on visiting your country proper, but on the way heard of the concerns with the iron and having myself a storyteller, a story keeper, and resources that might be able to assist. This seemed like an excellent way to begin my own story and improve the name of my family and my own name.
Man after my own heart. I understand this plight for you to try and drive your name home and make a name for yourself in the history books, which hopefully Sir Felin here will be writing, yes?
That is the hope.
Well,
By the
well.
way, the chicken, it is quite good. Uh, I have not seen it done this way. Is that a local dish?
Yeah, well, again, I don't get in the kitchen much myself. They just put in front of me, I eat, or tell them to take it away. This one is one of my favorites, though. They catch the chickens that I have out back. I'm trying to eat my way through them all. I don't want them on the property. But no, they catch the chickens and then they put some herbs or so. I don't know. I asked Rebecca, but I don't understand what she tells me. Anyway, I just eat what I am given, and I tell her thumbs up or thumbs down on her dishes. Rebecca! And he kind of claps his hands and calls for Rebecca.
My lord, yes?
Uh, Lord Dwale has asked what you put in his dish. What do you put in here?
Oh, my sir, thank you. Thank you so much for the compliment. It's a combination of rosemary, thyme. We do use some salt imported from Kalishan. Jabar's been very helpful, providing those herbs and spices.
Excellent. I don't think I've had it quite this way before. Now, is it the custom to throw the bones to the animals? Do we leave them on the plate? When it's served this way, what is the protocol?
Oh, I just get up and leave the plate how it is, and you should please do the same. You are a guest in my home. I will not have you leaving anything in any particular way. I just get up, they clean magically, things happen, and then I come back and it's all clean again. Yes, this is the way it works here.
Ah, so no ceremony associated with it. Wonderful.
That will be all, Rebecca. And he kind of looks at her and just nods like a get out of here. And he uh he just he sees you guys all eating and the plates are kind of dwindling with food and things like that, and he's just overwhelmed. He's I have not had guests here since I've been here for a month now, and I have yet to have guests of such nobility of Dwale of House Wands and a tiefling and a tabaxi and you, sir, so well read. It is a pleasure to have you all in my home, and I would just like to raise a toast right now if you could all join me in raising your glasses, and to our future endeavors together, and to this good town and the area of and to adventuring. And he just kind of raises his glass into the like way too high into the air.
Twill lifts it with him. To adventuring, may they be noble and profitable.
And he like tips his cup in your direction and like kind of winks at the profitable comment. All right. So as everybody's kind of finishing eating and things like that, he claps again, and a bunch of the servants come in and just start like adeptly and quickly removing dishes, and he starts to stand up, and clips his blue robe back on, and he says, "Please, if we are all quite finished, would you join me in the study over here in the next room, and we can discuss some further issues, and perhaps you would be kind enough to help me with the problem that I have."
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't know about helping with the problem, but study. I'm all over that.
He kind of walks next to Felon and kind of puts his hand near his shoulder, but not touching him, and is like, "Friend, you were asking earlier about the library, yes?"
Yes, absolutely. I heard you had one.
Oh boy, are you in for a treat. Rebecca!
As they're heading out, Dwell sort of
Yes,
looks
Lord.
back as they're heading out, Dwell sort of looks back towards the servants, looks at the three of them moving forward. A month, you say, and then follows after.
Rebecca, I'm going to have you show Felon here and to our library. I would like him to, if you're able, sir. I know I've heard good tale of your writing skills, yes?
Oh, I've been known to scribble a parchment or two in my day.
I am sure you are being modest, yes. But I am in need of a good transcriber for something. I actually would like you to write out something for me, but it is also for you. I've heard from my commander down at the mine that you have been having trouble getting in, yes?
Yes, we'd hoped to gain entrance to maybe examine, see what's going on.
Yes. Well, a good man that he is, he does not let anybody in without my express permission. And be it that I have currently lost my last transcriber, I am in need of somebody else to write these letters of permission. Would you be so kind as to write this so that we can follow the lines of paperwork, please?
Oh, absolutely, I can do that.
And for this service, I would be happy to let you browse my library, and you may take one book of your choosing from there.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right, Rebecca. And whenever he refers to Rebecca, it's always in like this strange, like harsh, piercing tone, and she's just kind of more shaky than you remember her being around you guys when she's around him. Rebecca, show him to the library.
Yeah, yes, my lord. And she gestures to Felon and kind of shows him off to where this is. Well, over here, my lord, you'll see the stacks based on the nonfiction, and then you'll see the stories, and you kind of hear her voice trail off.
And the room that Rebecca's leading him to is just off of the study where you guys are now in. Like, you can kind of see the dim light of the library from there, and you can kind of hear Rebecca twittering on about, oh, this section over here is this, and then this one over here is this, and
Okay.
and then in the middle of that room there's a big desk, a big fancy desk with a tons of scrolls along the side, and what looks to be 3 really nice looking quills. They look very similar to the ones that you saw Jabrar have.
Mm-hmm.
but these ones look even fancier. They have a strange little swirl in them and like a weird topper that you're not used to. So it just looks like a bunch of toys that have and never been touched. The inkwells are completely full still. Like it looks like it hasn't been touched in a while.
Okay. Understandable. So,
So here, sir,
uh-huh.
here, sir, are the books on Armenian policy. Here are the books on.
Right.
I believe this one is for deputizing those in a temporary status, and this one is for all access passes. I don't know what that means, but I believe that's part of something.
That is what we need. Excellent, Rebecca. Good job. And I'll pull off the book she was referring to about all access passes, and I'll set it down on the desk and pull the inkwell and the pens over, and then I'll decide that the pens are useless, and I'll sort of toss them to the side and pull out my pen and begin transcribing us a pass.
And so as you guys are getting comfortable in the library, Aiden kind of gestures to three other really large, comfortable-looking chairs, and just kind of gestures for the rest of you to sit down, and says, "Cloud, you mentioned that your storytelling capabilities. Do you have an instrument that you use to tell these stories?"
Well, I do. Yes. He seems kind of taken aback by this question, and underneath, like a pocket on the inside of the clothing, he removes the flute and kind of holds it a little protectively close. But he says the stories the flute tells are not mine, but I try to spread them as far as I can.
And like he nods like he's listening to you, but as soon as he sees
just
you
like,
pull out the flute, he just like he tipples his fingers together and is like, "Ooh,
oh no.
oh yes, that is one of my favorites. Would you be so kind as to play some music from your homeland for us?"
And he kind of looks to Dwayne and locks eyes for a second and kind of
Dwell
tries
says,
to.
Cloud, why don't you play that tune that you played at the inn the first time? It has a striking melody that I think Lord Aiden might enjoy. Yes, that one.
Which would you prefer? He asks Aiden. It's like something from my home or.
Oh, I did not. Oh gosh, choices. I haven't heard music in so long. I'd be happy to hear whatever you're comfortable playing. What is this song that Lord Dwayne speaks of?
Oh, no, let it be a surprise.
He looks like super excited, like he hasn't had entertainment in so long, and he's totally oblivious to your not wanting to do this either.
Right. Internally, he's definitely a bit torn between trying to ease this along so that it doesn't cause any sort of friction versus the actual opportunity to play something from home, which that would be super important to him. Maybe feels like maybe he might take a shot at starting with one and then maybe like medleying into the next. So we'll start off with the accidental anthem, and we'll go from there. So maybe performance, I suppose.
Yeah. Yes, please.
All right.
And is that the title, the accidental?
Well, because he didn't realize it at the time.
And if there's any way that we can throw in the help for that one for getting to a Omnight anthem that Cloud didn't realize he knew.
Yeah.
Yes, you definitely get advantage for
Oh,
the
God.
clever.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, then that's a little better. Oh, hello.
Oh, whoa.
Nat 20.
Kills it.
All right. So the nerves, like starting off a little not faltering, but kind of hesitant at first. But after a few notes, like he kind of sinks into it and just becomes the flute. You know, kind of the rest of the world melts away, and then starting with the melody plays through that until he finds a place to kind of modulate the key and crossfade over into a song his father used to play quite frequently when he was young.
Lord Aiden is just enamored. He's closing his eyes. He's just like
Did I lose audio?
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I lost you or if that was me.
No, my audio lost. No. Kind of like a Stevie Wonder kind of thing. Like, you know, he's like, yeah, oh yeah, really jamming in. And then just out of nowhere, you kind of see Rebecca walking around, you know, handing everybody a giant cup of that same delicious red liquid you guys were drinking with dinner. And she carries one out to Felon. And your music just kind of fades through both rooms. Felon can hear it perfectly from where he is as well. And, you know, he's just kind of enjoying the music. And he looks over at... he looks over at Briseis and kind of nods at her as the music's playing. He doesn't want to talk and interrupt, but he's just, you know, raises his glass towards her and is kind of nodding along with the music and does the same towards Lord Doyle, and just kind of waits for the music to peter out.
And as you know, I reach the kind of the ending point of the second song of the medley, you know, I'll kind of take it through a couple of more like, you know, like improvisational like variants on the theme, and kind of taking the original song and adding my own twist to it. And then, you know, gradually it fades out into the end of the piece, and then Cloud kind of opens his eyes, realizing that during this he kind of zoned out and lost his perception of the room around him, and he looks from one person to the other and kind of, you know, his ears kind of tucked back a little, and he looks a little self-conscious, and he gives a small nod and tucks the flute away and just kind of sinks back into his chair like he's trying to disappear.
Lord Aiden stands up from his chair and just little claps, like little tiny, and just is shaking his head and just nodding and is just like, wonderful, that was lovely. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since I've heard such passionate, adventuring music. I love this accidental anthem of this is my house's music now, or at least this house's music now. Wonderful, thank you so much. And he just kind of you know, motions to Rebecca to fill up one more round and then kind of leave the room, and says, you know, Rebecca, fill up one more time and then leave, please. We have much to discuss. And she does so, and kind of flitters out of the room, and it's quiet. You hear Felon in the other room just scribing away, the sound of the scroll on paper just fervently. You don't even know if he's writing the right stuff anymore. He's just maybe copying all the books that he can get his hands on or whatever. And Lord Aiden kind of turns to Lord Dwale and says, I fear it has finally come to the time in night where we must discuss some business. Is this acceptable to you? I did not bring you here just for dinner, I must admit.
Speak business with a noble of Am? My lord, I can't say that I'm shocked.
Yes, I know. We always get around to it eventually, right? And he just kind of, like, I imagine that he would be sitting, you know, closer to Lord Dwale than anybody else and just kind of motions his elbow towards him. We eventually get down to business, you know. It's all about what you can bring home, anyway. And he he says, well, I did not ask Felon to write your permission slips just so that you can go into my mind. You see, I do have an ulterior motive. I am hoping that you fine adventurers would help me discover the problem with this mine. I've been having trouble. I've only been here a month, and the first week or so it was fine. Everything was good. I was making money. Things were coming and going as they should. But as you know, lately we've been having problems with people disappearing, and things just seem to be falling apart, and I cannot have this. And I need somebody that I can trust to go inside and investigate this for me. My guards, they are good with guarding people to stay out, but they are not good at investigating what is going on. And it seems as though we are short on investigators in this town. And in in general, that seems. I have sent letters out asking for people, metallurgists, to come and check the iron. But this was weeks ago, and they have yet to show up. I do not want to assume the worst, but you know. And he just kind of gestures like, ugh.
Well, unfortunately, Lord Aiden, I think you may need to assume the worst. On our travels here, we did encounter several threats that may have waylaid your messengers, including a small caravan of the Merchants Guild of Bardler's Gate that had been slain, and a enormous horde of orcs marching across the path. So any request you may have sent north, I suspect, have not gotten through. South, I cannot speak to, but it seems this area is just beset with troubles.
Wait, you said you saw orcs in these lands?
Yes, quite a number of them.
Oh, this is not good. This would
No.
explain where they have been. This is not good at all. And he seems like not totally surprised, but just surprised about the portion about the orcs. He was not expecting that. He was kind of expecting, bad news in general, but he was seems very shaken up as soon as you said the word orcs. Just very uncomfortable. He kind of fiddles with one of the buttons on the top of his robe. And he says, well, I guess the metallurgists are not coming to investigate anymore.
No, but it does seem that you have the favor of at least two gods, as both Lathander and help me out, Sean.
Denier.
Denier, as both Lathander and Denier have sent representatives to you in your aid, and Denier providing a knowledgeable researcher, and Lathander sending a very caring, competent, and brutally efficient cleric as well.
Oh, here. I consider myself very lucky to have heard word of you coming to this town. Please, let's raise another glass to Luck and Lithander and Denier. Thank you for your good graces. And yes, this is why I like you, Lord Dwale. You point out the obvious, but you do it in such a happy way. This is good news because I think you all can actually get in there and find out what is wrong with Dwale's intelligence and smooth talking, Bryce's your pure and honest heart, and Cloud. I mean, goodness gracious, you could just Pied Piper these guys down into the mine and they will follow you anywhere. And Felon can get you in anywhere. You guys can do magical things. And he just keeps talking. He's obviously kind of getting a little tipsy. He just keeps long-winded talking about how awesome you guys are. But he's like, oh, but I am talking too much. I'm sorry. Let me get to the point here. Longer story short, I am looking for investigators to go into the mine and find out what is going on and where these missing people are. I can't travel in there myself. I have no desire to. I don't know how to investigate. So I figured I would do what I am good at, and that is contract some adventurers into the mine. Does this sound appealing to you?
That was somewhat our plan
just
already.
Yep.
Well, I do not know. I know here in that gold speaks volumes. So I am prepared to offer you this kind of reward. However, I am sorry to say, I cannot have this on paper. If that makes sense. I cannot have a paper trail admitting that I am having problems controlling the issues arriving out of these mines. It will bring shame to my house, and I would like this done, how they say, off the books.
Well, that's certainly understandable as long as, should this show into your good graces and be something noteworthy that is worth that should be recognized, the name of House Wands accompanies with it the resolution of the troubles. And of course, Phelan will wish to document the success.
Oh, we are talking. Yes, I mean, in this world of you successful, everything's good. You can definitely be tied into something that does not blame me as the fault or as in any light that is unbecoming of my house. Absolutely. However, the script that Felon is writing right now will be the only record going into the mine that there will be. Upon your success, of course, this can be changed. But I must ask that these scripts you have going in, that you take one of the many candles in the mine and burn it upon entry. The guard will not ask you questions. He does as he is told. He just needs the paper for you to get in. But after that, you must burn your scripts and go unnoticed. And I wish you all the best of luck. And assuming that you are successful in discovering what is going on in the mine, I will, of course, agree to a large sum of, how does 175 gold sound?
Up front, that sounds generous.
Well, you drive hard, bargain. All right, here, I give you 100 gold deposit. And if you are dead, I get to loot your corpses.
That seems reasonable. It's a mine. If you extract gold from it, it is yours.
Haha, that is funny in more ways than one, sir. All right, so we have deal, yes, and he kind of like raises his glass and looks you all in the eye with his bright blue eyes, except for Felon. I mean, you know something's going on, you hear something, but it's mostly just drunken ramblings of Aiden.
I don't care what they're talking about.
Lord Aiden, if he has not already done so, would it be acceptable if Phelan was to borrow a few books from your library? I feel by the time we get back there, he will have some that he would wish to peruse.
You're asking if he takes books down with him into the mine? Is this?
Yes, he reads quite voraciously.
Well, I will allow him to take one book of his choosing with him into the mines, and should you become back successful, I will allow him to take one more book, and I will give you all an extra 25 gold. How does that sound?
Wonderful.
It's a deal then. Cheers, yes? And he raises
Cheers.
his glass. It's like empty. This is good. This is good. And he yells for Rebecca again. Rebecca!
My lord?
No,
Oh, another?
no,
At
no
this-
more wine. We're done talking. No, I want you to go see if Sir Felon needs any other help, or if he needs anything else, or if he's ready for me to come sign these papers. We need to get these adventurers on their way. I don't know. I know it is late tonight, so I don't assume that you would want to go into the mine at the end of the night. I assume you would like a full night's rest in the inn, and then proceed in the morning. Is this acceptable?
I see no advantage to entering at night, but I will defer to the experts. Let us consult with Phelan and see if he has any reason that we would be in better at night than the day.
Rebecca in the other room. Mr. Phelan, do you require anything else? Otherwise, I believe your presence is being requested in the study.
Felon has finished transcribing the writ, and he's perusing the books at this point. And he turns to Rebecca and he says, "Does Lord, does he allow you to keep books, or are you not allowed to?"
Aiden.
Sure, of course. And Felon gives a look like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." Does he allow you to, or is that strictly verboten?
When it is suitable for the Lord, it is suitable for me. And she kind of gestures with her hands. Do you need any help, sir, getting those down?
No. And Felon reaches up and he pulls out a book. And it's a book of like elven folk tales. And he turns and he holds it in his hand. He says, I used to read this a lot when I was younger. I've read it through like 100 times by now. But I think I only get to keep one book, apparently. So I think you should have this one, Rebecca. And he gives it to her. And he says, you should keep reading. It's important.
No, my lord, wait, thank you. I thank you.
And
Like she doesn't, her face just kind of confusion locks, and
but don't
of course
tell.
I will. But thank you. I will take this and use it.
Good, but don't tell Lord. They. It's our secret, and like Felon gives her a little wink, and then says, "Yes, Lord Aiden, we're ready."
And she kind of stashes the book on one of the chairs and ushers you into the room.
Oh, welcome back, Felin.
Sorry about the lag.
Your script is complete. You have written this. It's
Absolutely, I have, and I pull out the scroll and just show him what I have written.
oh, this is beautiful. You undersold yourself there. Your skills, they are. You have been practicing for many years. It's beautiful. Your handwriting. Did you enjoy
Well,
my quills?
They were beautiful, sir.
The finest ones
Pristine
Jabbar
condition.
has, and he just kind of like makes the little gun at you, even though it really has no meaning right now.
Little crossbows.
The little hand crossbows. Yes, quite pristine condition. But yes, I've had a bit of time to practice, shall we say?
Good, good. It looks ready, and he just kind of takes it, and there's a little small table, and he just kind of pulls a quill out from next the drawer on the table and signs his name really quick, and he starts rolling it back up, and he's like, "You choose your book. Yes, you have picked something worthy of your travels into the mine, something that will help you on your adventure, I suppose."
Oh, yes, that is all taken care of.
Oh, this is good. This is good. I will not ask. It is not my nature. I will just, I will replenish the book, and then I'm not sure if you heard, but you will be choosing another book, assuming you all come back and don't get killed and, end in a bloody death in the mines and whatnot.
Of course, yes, absolutely.
Well then, and he claps his hands together really loud, and you see one servant kind of peek out, and he just shakes his head. So I suppose we are done here. I have had one too many nightcaps, and I have kept you far too late. You all need your rest. You have a long day ahead of you tomorrow.
Absolutely. I just need to. I left some of my supplies in the library. Rebecca will show me out. Don't trouble yourself with it, Lord Aiden.
Is this any better? Sorry.
Yep.
All right. This is no trouble at all, Felin. I wish you all good luck, and I hope you all come back very safe, and we can do business together again soon.
Excellent.
I appreciate all of your time, and Lord Dwale, it was a pleasure. If I can help you be more comfortable with your accommodations in any way, of course, you know how to reach me.
Certainly will, and I look forward to visiting you once you had a chance to fully establish your house. and perhaps bring some of my family. It would be a wonderful little retreat.
Absolutely. I've got the pool being built out back. It's gonna be wonderful. We can spend time out there. It will be good. Rebecca! And please show them the door.
Oh, absolutely, sir. And she ushers out all of you to the foyer, and then out through the foyer, and says, "Thank you, Felon."
Felon actually needed to return to the library for his things. You see, I'm making air quotes because it's a lie.
So,
when he
so
gets,
how do you awkwardly navigate that? That sounds good.
all I said was, before I leave, I just need to return to the library to gather up my writing supplies. I'll be along in just a moment.
Oh, of course, of course. We wouldn't want you to leave anything behind.
Of course not. It's important.
Feel free to take one of those quills with you. I have so many. Jabbar, he brings them only for me. I've got the collection going.
Of course. But Felon would return to the library. It's pretty clear he doesn't use this, right? Like,
oh yeah, he doesn't use it at all. I mean, he's got everything super well stocked and organized and clean. He's very proud of it, but he doesn't use it.
okay, that's kind of what I figured. So, under the hopes that no one will ever notice, Felon is going to go over and grab a few books on metallurgy, stuff them into his bag, and auf Wiedersehen, and leave.
All right, and he just stands from the foyer and waves like an old '80s sitcom. Okay, thanks for coming. Please come back again soon.
Bye-bye.
With the dramatic flourish of his robe and a shutting of the door, you guys are out into the Armenian evening.
What a strange man.
I had a lovely time.
I'm gonna give all of you inspiration for not terribly offending Lord Aiden.
Beautiful.
Because I should have given it to the end of the last episode. Anyways, let's get it on the board right now. Also, if I'm super lagging, I don't know if I am or not, between my voice and
I'm lagging a little bit.
what's coming out.
I'm seeing lag on everyone.
This tornado's tearing its way across the country or something. I don't know.
All right. With dinner being served at around 6, you're looking at least an hour of eating and an hour of Aiden talking, and then another hour of Aiden talking. We're looking at probably about 9 or 10 o'clock here. What would you guys like to do?
Probably return to the inn. I don't have anything else that I need to do.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not setting out tonight.
Yes. So, is there any reason to visit the mine at night at night versus the day, and that you three can think of?
There won't be miners, so we can do things we wouldn't be able to do otherwise, maybe?
I have a feeling that there's miners all the time. But I used a lot of my magic while we were there, and it would probably be better if I rested and prayed before we go in, just in case.
Excellent. Then let's go and rest, and we will set out bright and early in the morning. I believe their march will be an excellent alarm, and we can go from there.
All right. Incros, the purveyor of the inn, welcomes you back. escorts you to your rooms as needed, provides you with any amenities you might need for the evening, and then checks up, make sure that you guys are doing all right. The rest overnight is hot. It's very hot and very humid, very sticky.
Anytime Dwell wakes up, he chills the bed and then goes back to sleep.
Prestidigit really is like the greatest spell.
Now,
of the
again,
cantrips.
in the earliest. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. My mic is like 5 seconds off. As the morning approaches, you do hear the traditional foot stomping goodness of the Armenian guard to wake you up in the morning.
Being jolted awake is not the greatest, but she doesn't mind being.
You guys can. And you guys are free to do whatever you need to do before heading to the mines. I'm sorry, yeah, this is way delayed. I'm gonna quick.
Mhm.
And there's all 5.
Hey, you're in sync.
Hey, all right.
Yeah.
Carrying on. Do you guys want to approach the mining encampment / mines?
One
Absolutely.
quick thing before we head out.
We have our entrance tickets.
Briseis,
Yep.
Phelan, here are your 8
Hmm.
gold in return, and we'll maintain the company funds from there. And he gives them both 8 back, so they should be around 10-ish personal funds.
Woo!
Hey, you're at break even.
All right.
Hmm.
As you approach the mining camp, it's very similar to what it was before. Still very busy, still with miners moving around and active, but less so in the way. Continuing onwards, you see the miners all funneling into a mine, the outside of which looks like this. Here we go. There's a mine entrance.
Yay!
Don't be fooled by its dilapidated outside nature. This is there's miners active going up and down, carrying buckets, rolling carts.
All right. Felon would say, I tried to get us some sort of a research station. I'm not sure how much they'll be able to get, but hopefully it'll be enough.
Yes.
Is Joe
do see-
around? Joe the guard, not Joe the missing guy.
Joe the guard, Joe the running guard, is not currently around. You do see an Armenian guard at the front of the mine entrance look at you all four suspiciously and say, "Hold! Who are you? You are not miners. You are not guards. Identify yourselves."
Dwell
Lord
take a-
Aiden,
Oop.
was that it?
Lord Aiden. Yep.
Lord Aiden sent us. We have the proper papers. And she looks over at Felon, who I'm guessing has all the papers.
Yes, he produces the writ.
The guard takes out this writ. It's how many pages is this? I'm gonna go with it that it's like 3 or 4 pages worth, and he's flipping through it and he's flipping through it, and then he just gets to the end and he sees the signature and he's like, "Yeah, whatever." And then he moves his body out of the way and says, "Okay."
Thank you, sir.
So as the guard
And they will head on
in front of the mines allows you to enter, the start of the mine is no longer a barrier to entry, but it's a beckoner. Darkness surrounds you, and it's combated only by the dim light of the candles illuminating the walls. Wooden beams, thicker than the wood that's constructed the barracks, support the walls and the ceilings of this passage. Following the wooden minecart tracks on the ground before you, the smells of sweat and dirt and dust threaten to choke you. These smells intensify as you enter the first chamber of this mine, and it's filled with tired miners and alert guards and a table. You see Diro at the table, taking items out of a bag and placing them on the table for you. Ah, I see. I see you have arrived. Thank you so much for coming in.
It was our pleasure, Diro.
You can see he's putting stuff out on the table. He's got 20 candles on the table.
Okay.
And he's got a couple of jugs of water.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And an iron pot.
Okay, yeah. We're getting there.
And 4 loincloths.
Okay.
Did he separate out the green M&Ms from the rest of them? We have to make sure he read the entire writer.
Yeah, it's important.
And he looks at you and says, "This is what I had."
Well,
I'm sorry, these were the closest I had to smocks.
Well, I mean, it's not proper protection, but if we don't have the acid, I suppose it, should be all right. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
What could go wrong?
I mean, we could get poisoned, but we'll cross that bridge if we come to it.
All right. Well, I assume you have your sample. I don't know if anything came of it, but obviously you have lots of samples here. Let me know what else I can do for you. This is the first level of the mine. And as you look around the room, there's about 9 different exits to this circular room that's about 150 feet in diameter. There's an exit to the north that seems to incline down a little bit, and then there's 4 exits to the east and 4 exits to the west in varying north and south angles.
Okay.
How many levels are there?
Well, for now we're working on our second level. We're digging and we just keep going. We've tapped out all of this ore on the first level. It's been a quick ride.
So you're making the mine as you go. It wasn't here originally.
No, we have to keep going. This first level's, we've known about it for a little while, but there's more and it's deeper. So we're digging.
Found anything weird?
Iron? Ore?
Okay, that's not weird.
Unexpected?
No, not that's been reported to my guards. Not that I've heard. These tunnels have been very, very easy to dig. The earth's easy enough to move. We haven't had any problems with making these tunnels. We haven't had anything unexpected. Just lack of good ore.
And people going missing.
Well, miners always go missing.
They just always go missing. They go.
Sometimes they wander off out of the camp. Sometimes they get hurt in the mine, and because they're working alone, like they're not supposed to be.
Right. It's the miner's fault.
I don't know. You do hear in this room there are a lot of miners, and you do hear some mumbling about that as you ask that question.
Darrow, as a curiosity that may lead somewhere, approximately how much do you pay these men a day or per shift?
Well, per shift we pay 5 silver. Plenty enough for a living expense.
Certainly, and that's a good rate. I would like to engage 4 of them, one for each of us, to act as runners, and should we need to move away, a guide to take us back. Can you find 4 of men for me? I don't think they'll need to do any lifting, so if anyone has a injured hand or arm, we can employ them for the day.
Absolutely. He sends one of the miners out and whispers to him to head to the infirmary and find 4 miners who can walk or run and deliver them back here. But yes, no.
Should any of you need anything, do let the men know, and they'll run and fetch it for you or guide you wherever you need to be. Phelan, do not wander off.
Felon looks hurt, and he says, "No, I need to test my sample." And he pulls out the ore.
Absolutely, I got you all of the materials that I could right there on the table.
Yeah, I see that, but I might be able to learn a little bit more. Maybe. Do you have a forge or like something really hot?
Not in here, unfortunately. No, we're just dragging it all, not in the mines themselves. We're just dragging them ore out.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see what maybe I can dig up.
Little groan.
One of the miners, it looks like that recently had a giant gash on their arm, approaches Bryceus. Bryceus, you recognize this miner from the infirmary from yesterday. He whispers, they are disappearing. I tell you, it's the demons.
She's just going to motion for them to follow and just kind of like step away from the main group, just so they don't feel because they're trying to be a little secretive. So we're just gonna go have a conversation. Have you seen anything?
No, they're just down. They're down there, and you can't see them, but you can hear them just a little bit. It's just the yip, the yip, the tip, and it's always you always turn.
Calm down. It's okay. Just breathe. Don't forget to breathe. You're safe. We'll take care of you. What exactly did you hear?
He starts breathing in and out very quickly. It's just these yips. It's just at the tail end, and you just hear it, and then you turn, and then you don't see it, and it's so hard to see. It's so hard to see down the stairs. It's they don't, and then he keeps breathing, and then he passes out from hyperventilation.
And she's going to try to catch him as best as possible and ease him to the ground. And she's gonna like look up at Dwayne like, this is not good.
You hear one of the guards yell out, "We gotta drop her!" And then 2 miners walk over and pick up the 3rd miner and take him outside.
And she gestures to Dwayne to come over, and the others as well. He was insisting that there was something down there, and whatever it is terrified him that badly. And she just gestures that he passed out from just trying to explain it. I know he like gave like a little bit of description. Can she make a I don't know what would be Arcana or something to see if she could piece together maybe what he was talking about.
Well, if we're
Yipping in the
going
dark.
off of sounds, let's go nature.
Okay.
Ooh. I,
Nope.
I don't know.
She's going to just try to explain what he had said. There's like yipping, like quiet yipping in the darkness. Like you can't see it, but you could hear it just before something happens, and that he's insisting that that's what's taking the people.
Well, we are expecting to find some troubles here.
Yes, but oh,
Still. Interesting. Very interesting.
you haven't read anything about something like that?
Doesn't ring a bell. But there are a lot of things. So
Hopefully they're just hearing rats or bats or something and just getting confused. But it could be related to whatever's screwing with the ore.
could be, yeah.
Well,
There's a lot of could be's, but we should be ready for anything.
Phelan, would you think there's anything more to be gained experimenting on the ore you have available, or should we venture and see if something might be afflicting the ore in patches?
The only thing I could think of that we might be able to gain by testing the ore we have is the generous Lord Aiden provided me with books on metallurgy, and perhaps they can give us a bit more insight. But other than that, I'm not sure that there's anything else to be learned at the moment with this, especially with what I have been provided. And he gestures to the stuff on the table.
Well then, shall we go and investigate the source itself and see if anything strikes us there? We can listen for the yipping and also investigate any other causes we might find.
It's good to me.
All right. So we're moving in further. Are we moving to the? There's 10 exits. There's one to the north that seems to lead down. There's 4 to the west and 4 to the east, which seem to be like off of the central chamber, and then the way that you came in.
Briseis will suggest down, because that's where it seemed like that's where what they were talking about, what the guy who was talking to him was talking about.
Right.
He was having trouble seeing down.
Right. Yeah, they had mentioned it being harder to see down below.
Yeah.
Actually, thinking about this, is Dwayne the only one who may have issues with dark vision issues here?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's moving a little slower than you guys in the candlelight.
Get your little head candle.
Oh, head candle, nothing. I got 4 guys here to carry 2 candles apiece for me.
We can see fine with just probably whatever little light there is.
The assistants, the guys I hired, they're my candle bearers.
So as you go down these stairs, the candle bearers refuse to go in front of you. They will only follow at your side or behind, which tends to be a little bit difficult. As you continue, the path continues downwards, and it's narrowing in both height and width. So whereas before it would have been very comfortable for 2 or 3 miners to walk, these are, as of yet, only designed very thin. Like it's only 5 feet across either way.
Briseis will go up front and have her shield up front.
The hallways become a little bit more dim
She
as you
can see.
continue.
She can see just fine.
What sort of like? I mean, I'm assuming it's probably like is it like torches or like oil lamps or what? Like
It's
lanterns?
candles.
Candles down below. Okay.
Yep.
Um,
So they're
You hear
giving
a-
off a little bit.
You hear a thwack sound, and then Dwayne just starts cursing lividly, and this is intolerable. And then there's just boom, light right in front of him.
Ow!
You stabbed your toe, bud?
Like literally, Briseis. She's like, oh, because she was up front, so all the light was behind her. A little warning next time, please. Like, ow.
So Dwayne uses a light cantrip to light up his shoulder. Actually,
Shoulder lamp.
it lights up. It lights up the whole object, so it lights up his whole fancy shirt.
Shirt. He's glowing now.
As you continue down the much better lit hallway, the earth and the ground is much less even. It's not been walked on as much. You can feel that it's loose when you step on it. The walls themselves have less support beams next to them. Everything feels a little bit more unsure, and also the amount of miners down in this second level is greatly decreased. It looks like these are just preliminary miners trying to generate paths and find ore. So basically, they're the prospectors of iron, and the miners start to become few and far between. There is a circular staging area with paths to the west and to the east.
Oh, Felon would turn to the 4 hired miners that Dwayne hired, and he says, "Can any of you read?"
All 4 of them start laughing almost at the same time, saying, "Reading? Who's got time for reading?"
Well, I guess it was too much to hope for. All right.
If we could read, do you think we'd be down here?
I can read, and I'm down here. I'm pretty sure they can read, and they're down here. I don't have any direct evidence of the fact that they can read, but I can presume.
I can read.
See? Mr. Judgy.
And Briseis will ask the 4 miners, now that they're down here, like, have you guys encountered anything strange down here in the dark?
As you talk to the floor miners, there are still a couple guards in the area, so they don't look and turn and talk to you for that long. But the feeling that you get from a couple of them is there's noises down here. You can just ignore it, and you just keep mining.
Is there any, like, which way would you say?
Oh, it's always at the end. It's always when we're making new tunnels that we're hearing stuff. And it's next to some of the deposits that we've flagged as well. And he points down the east hallway, and he says, "There's a couple over there. I've heard yipping over there." And he points to the west and he says, "There's one spot over there that I've been hearing the yipping, but I ignore it. It doesn't bother me. I don't bother it."
Has anyone ever bothered it?
I honestly never even noticed. I just always thought it was like a pickaxe bouncing off of iron.
Right, that makes
sounds
a
like another
yipping
noise.
Right.
A bouncy noise. I don't know. You get the feeling that this guy wants to stick his head under the sand.
Okay.
Well, why don't we head down the east path for now?
Yeah, see what we can find.
As you guys head down this pathway, you guys notice distinct lack of guards. and that the miners are reducing ever so much. It's very moist in this part of the cavern, and it's still well lit enough, still lit enough for you to walk, but as again, very very poorly lit in general. Can you guys give me a perception check?
Love to.
How long does the light spell last for?
I get an hour, but it's a cantrip, so I can recast as necessary. Though shortly after this, I'll be changing some things.
Perception. There.
Ooh.
All right. As you're walking and stumbling along, Briseis in the front, you don't notice anything in particular, but 7, the candles, when you look at them, they're burning the regular yellow color. When you look at them out of the corner of your eye, if you blink, they have a slight green tinge to them.
But when I look at them directly, it shifts back.
Yeah,
or not shifts, but like when I go to look at them, they seem normal.
Yeah, like they don't. When you're directly looking at them, they don't look abnormal. They look like candles. And even when you notice it out of the pocket of your eye, you're just. Yeah, it's green.
Do I smell anything weird? Other than, dirt and mining stinks, sweaty miners.
No, you don't notice anything. It doesn't seem like these candles are consuming much oxygen, or if any. Like when you breathe next to it, you don't get lightheaded.
Okay. But I can still breathe okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep going.
Would you share this?
If I was gonna say if it doesn't seem to be like if I can't immediately figure out what's going on with this, or just like if I'm just seeing this out of the corner of my eye, there's a chance that he might just kind of push the information off in his head, just thinking that maybe it's just like something that like a trick of the light or something. Probably wouldn't if it doesn't seem that it's something I can figure out where it's coming from, but it doesn't seem that off. I mean, it seems weird, but like, yeah, he probably wouldn't say anything. At least not right away.
Okay.
Haven't spent a lot of time in mines, so like.
As you guys are, as he is having his moral dilemma, Dwayle's going to cast his light cantrip on one scroll, then wrap it up in another scroll, kind of cone it, so he's got himself a little directional light.
The flashlight trick. All right.
Flashlight trick. Just enough of the glowy shirt.
As you guys continue down this east passage, it does unfurl into not into so much a staging area, but a place with a little bit more depth and width to it than the hallway. It's kind of like a 20 by 20 room. You can see a decent amount of exposed iron deposits. You see a couple miners working those iron deposits, and you see a fair bit of light in this room. It looks like the miners actually have light to work from in this room.
And there are no other passages? This is just the end room?
There's a little to the there's a small passageway leading south out of this room.
Briseis is going to go inquire of the few miners about noises and any other strange experiences they may be having.
Yeah, I don't like working. I don't like working this area. I don't like this spot. I hear stuff all the time. It's not fun. I don't like this.
The guards people have been talking about?
It sounds high pitched, and somebody tried telling me that it was a pickaxe, and it's not a pickaxe. It's something else. I don't know what it is. But this was my turn. This was my rotation in this area, and the other guys had to do it before me. So here we are. And he keeps mining.
Like, well, we're here to hopefully solve your problems. So
Oh, why, thank you.
You could try to relax a little bit.
Oh, thank you. And then he goes to swing his pickaxe to try to clear up some more dirt, and it shatters in front of everyone.
His pickaxe?
Yeah, the metal part of his pickaxe. And he says, "Damn it, that's the second one today."
Is that a new pickaxe? Or
I mean, we just got it. Like it's coming from up top.
I mean, was it newly made?
No, I have no idea. They always give us tools when our tools break down here. We don't have to pay for those out of pocket.
As Dwell's standing there, he just sort of taps the bottom of his staff where it's steel shot on the bottom to see if it stays intact.
On your staff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his quarterstaff is top and bottom shod with the nice little wand branding. He just gives it a tap on the rock.
Roll a d20. Your staff does not, in any way, shape, or form, get damaged from your tap on the ground. And then one of the miners is talking to one of the other miners as they're going. They really need to put in new candles down here. I tell you, there's just not enough light. They keep changing colors. It's some weird ass shit. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Can we just get some better light down here? And the other guy's like, oh yeah.
Cloud cocks his head at the mention of the color changing. You see this too.
Yeah, it's a fucking Everburn candles, man. I tell you, they made them in but it's not quality like we're used to.
Do I have any idea what an Everburn candle is?
You can roll for that, but honestly, no,
Right.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Like I know what a candle is, but that's like, yeah. Otherwise, this is Greek, and I'm like, I just kind of furrow my brow, and I just kind of nod.
But how are they bad? What do you mean? An Everburn candle just makes light, right? Like, what's wrong with them?
Yeah, I don't know. This floor's never had enough light, and we keep adding candles, and it just keeps, like, it helps kind of, but we still can't see what's in front of us. That's why the other reason why we keep breaking our tools.
You keep adding light, but it's still dark, huh? That's suspicious.
Just a little. Hey,
Who else
Felon, would you know what would make candle fire change colors?
Oh, maybe if Felon thinks for a little bit, maybe an Arcana check?
Go ahead. You know that Everburn candles typically are like what you saw on the first level. The candles on this level look a little bit different in terms of the way that their light's outputting. Mm-hmm. And now that you know that you're looking for the differences between an Everburn candle and a different candle, you can see green tints occasionally in the candle on the wall.
Interesting. Felon goes over and he peels the candle off the wall and he turns back to his group and he says, do you have any problems waiting here for a little bit?
Where are you?
Felon, make a perception check.
Sure.
It's coming from what appears to be just a spot in the wall. You heard, yep, you no take candle, and a kobold rushes at you.
Oh. Guys, I found what was making the noise.
And
I'm the
makes a
best
stab at you.
investigator. That's not going to hit. I have 18 AC.
Okay. This kobold frantically trying to grab the candle out of your hands, takes a stab at one of your legs and tries to use that to mount and climb you to get to the candle. If you guys want to roll initiative, go ahead, or you guys can just...
I was just gonna like Kim Briseis just like bop it on the head.
Yeah.
Boop.
I was gonna say if it tries to climb him, I would most likely try to like swing to like send it flying back off of him.
Absolutely.
Felon's just going to hold the candle higher and say, "No, it's mine!" and sort of try to push him back.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to, like, are you guys trying to smack this kobold off of him?
Yeah, like not so much like murder the thing, just like bonk to get it off, and it clearly speaks a language we understand. Just try to ask it what the hell? What are you doing?
Okay. I'm assuming there's 3 of you, not including him. I'm going to assume that you guys can knock it unconscious and then wake it back up while it's not moving. And the candle. Why do you touch candle? They're ours.
Yours. Who's you?
Mine. Us. Ours.
Where did it actually
You
run
must-
from?
You must not touch candle. Yeah, it looks like it came at Felon from somewhere from the south.
So there are more of you here with all the candles.
Well, they're ours. We use them. They give us the light. They show us the way.
So, what do you mean the way? What does that mean?
It's our secret. It's no, you trick me. No, give candle.
I would never try to trick you.
We'll give the candle back if you just answer a couple questions.
No, I don't. Not candle. Not for me. Candle for wall.
Well, then we'll put it back on the wall if you answer some of our questions.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes. Please put it on wall.
First, you need to answer the questions.
Me forget what? No, you put candle on wall first.
That's not how this works. I'm sorry. What way are you talking about? What are they leading you to?
No, you. Whoever is holding him down, make a athletics check.
Cloud, I'm guessing?
Sure. This is not going to be great. I'm not exactly that strong. But here we go. Oh.
Good.
Whew.
Second kobold.
The kobold lays there, beaten, and he says, "No, they're from the rest of us. We have to keep it lit. They're from down there." And he points to the south.
What happens if you don't keep it lit?
Oh, bad bad. No. Then death.
Then death, huh? That sounds bad. And Felon's gonna walk over to one of the other candles and just take it off the wall and just cover it. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the kobold just goes apeshit. No, you not. And then he tries to get up from Cloud.
Visay also
and
put
he's-
a hoof on him as well to help keep him down. To help with the
Excuse me, I just see this, we both have our feet on him.
a paw and a hoof.
Yep.
You hear him squealing as he says, "No, not hurt. Just keep candle. Ask shaman."
Ooh, there's a shaman. Could we speak to this shaman?
Well, I mean, I can take you there. You let me go. I take you there. You talk to shaman.
Fella looks around at everyone else like, well, seems like a pretty good. I'd like to talk to the shaman.
Sounds like a plan.
Here, I show you. Here. And he tries to stand up.
Let him up.
Okay. He gets up and he kind of hobbles a little bit. It looks like that. Like when you bonked him on the head, he kind of lost where he was. And then he points down south down the corridor and just takes off.
Can I cast a spell on him before he leaves? Or do I not have
Yeah, sure. I mean, go ahead.
I'm going to cast command on him. So if he could make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh, come on. Kobolds don't make wisdom saving throws. Like, what game are you playing?
Come on!
Sometimes they do.
You underestimate this kobold.
Apparently.
Cast light on him quick.
He feels kind of this knowledge trying to come into his head, and he's like, "No learning!" And he runs to the south, and you see him.
I was gonna say if he takes off, I'll give chase, and I'll kick in my burst of speed. So if I can do that outside of combat,
Kitty pounce.
Yeah, absolutely. Kitty Pounce is totally effective. You see him dash down about 20 feet down this southern corridor and then disappear into the wall to the east.
like just fades into the wall, or there's a tunnel there. Or
As
I
you,
just see him disappear by the wall.
yeah, he's there and then gone.
I'll tap at the wall with my staff to see if there's actually a wall there.
The higher parts of the wall, there's definitely a wall there, but a little bit closer towards the ground, you hear a instead of a tang.
Okay. How like down at like kobold height?
Yeah, a little bit lower even.
This is gonna. Yeah, I can't give chase at speed through something that small. Yeah. How far down the tunnel was this? Where this happened?
Just about 20 feet.
Oh, okay. So that's not that far. You from back up the tunnel, you hear a frustrated grumble, and he has an escape route.
Maybe it leads into like their section of these mines. We should follow him.
I'll get down on all fours and kind of peer into the tunnel and see if I can see where it goes, if I can see anything down there.
Well, you can see down there, but there is no light. The tunnel goes for about 10 more feet, and then you can see that it opens up afterwards a little bit.
Okay. I'll wait for the rest of the group.
Yeah, I'll follow him down there.
I'm not going to go crawling into a hole without backup.
I'll follow after, lighting one of my own candles and taking it with me.
Are the 4 guys still with us? Your candle bearers?
I'm sorry, I just lost Bryceus.
Oop.
Reconnecting.
Oh,
Okay, there we go.
okay.
Question was, did the 4 candle bearers manage to stay for this, or did they bolt when the kobold jumped out?
Oh, they bolted.
Fair.
And as well as did all of the miners in that room as soon as that kobold showed up.
Gotcha. So I've got the light from my little paper scroll that's glowing, and then lighting an actual candle, and then heading after you guys.
Yeah, when everybody gets down there, I'll gesture to the hole and kind of outline the perimeter with the tip of my staff and give them the information I can see, like that it goes about 10 feet in and then it opens up somewhat.
All right. The hole itself seems to be unobstructed and easy to move the covering.
Who's going first?
Perseus will me. And she will get down, which is it's kind of awkward with her shield arm, but she kind of like puts it in front of her this way and like goes like that through. And not the quietest either with chainmail and shield arm, but
So I hear this ka-clonk, ka-clonk,
Yeah.
ka-clonk.
Yep.
As you guys continue down, you do have to move a little bit slow, but it doesn't seem to overly affect you as much. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
All of us or just her?
Who is anyone following her yet?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll head in.
Yep.
She will do her best not to smack anyone with her tail on the way.
The whale will try and insert himself before Phelan.
All right, sure. Go for it, bud.
Or are we each making perception checks?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Will notices all the dirt.
Yeah, with the tail in my face, I can't see anything.
So as Bryceus clears this small tunnel, she does all right. 7 actually runs into Bryceus's tail as they're crawling because he can't measure the distance.
Sorry.
Felon following up behind sees tons of dirt, and he's really interested in all of the different particles and if there's ore in it. And Dwayne, as he seems to have a penchant to do, bumps his head on some loose dirt as he's crawling down. That crawl brings you all here. Go ahead and put yourself at the top part of that. As you duck down and climb back up after you enter this path, you're surrounded by just complete darkness. There's nothing lit here. The ceiling is only 4 feet high, so some of you, actually all of you, will be hunching a little bit over. You feel choked from the taste of warm dirt and dust, and your mouths come dry, and it feels less damp than the previous spots.
You guys
And you
start
can
hearing
see-
little sounds. As prestidigitation after prestidigitation cleans the whale's clothes. You see a little and then little scatters of dust hitting the floor.
If you guys would like to continue at this point, I'd be more than happy to do a little bit longer.
I think it's
Yeah,
probably a good place to stop for now.
Yeah, probably. We could pick up from here next time.
Sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Assuming we're not all murdered in the darkness in the intervening week.
Darkness does have a habit of murdering.
Yep.
All on its own.
Eaten by a grue.
That's all right. As we all know, the best way to handle it is to attack the darkness.
Well,
You're a sorcerer.
I don't have magic missiles, so
Invisibility
yeah.
darkness.
Hey,
Do you?
I don't know. Probably not.
Are you a sorcerer of light?
I could be.
I would
Tell
not
people I
believe
am.
that.
I'm sure I could convince somebody of it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more than happy to stop at this point. I'm probably going to hang out for a little bit, but
I have a very important question.
your very important question will be heard.
Did we level?
I mean, putting up with Lord Aiden was pretty horrible.
Yeah.
And we did
Those
have a
are
good
some-
nap afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not pressuring the GM at all here.
That's okay. Peer pressure is acceptable.
Making your case, guys. Hold on.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit of scaling. Go ahead and bring characters for level 2 next time.
Woo!
Okay.
I mean, that honestly, yes, that was a significant chunk of navigating non-combat encounters.
At least we know what next episode's gonna be.
More non-combat encounters.
Yeah.
Lots of talking at length
I-
with nobles.
Hey, nobles are good people. What? I liked him.
I can prepare another spell. What should it be?
Oh, it's funny, like your little flashlight thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been meaning to do it all week. Like Sean, I wanted to send you a bunch of random tidbits about Denier and like the Denirath because like I read a whole book series about a cleric of Denier.
Oh,
And he
sweet.
actually made a magic flashlight. Like he had a permanent light spell on a disc, and then
Right.
he plugged it into the end of like a metal tube, and he made a flashlight with a little cap on it that he carries on his belt.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways to do that. Light's a cantrip, I imagine. Most mages have some trick or other to do it. Whether you do it a pebble in a scroll case or whatever. But sometimes you just need to bling out your shirt. Alright.
So who has the cats? I've been hearing cats throughout the whole.
I
think
have
that-
3.
I was gonna say I think that was I saw a couple times I was watching and I saw Athy's mic meter move when that happened. So
Oh,
I've got
All
two in the
3 of
room with
them
me
are
right
on
now.
my bed right now. So
they're calling to you.
definitely. Level 10.
We said for
Anybody
hit
have
points, we are
Questions
choosing-
about level 2?
I was gonna say,
Besides this, yeah.
hit points, we said either choose the average or roll. Okay.
oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
absolutely.
Whew. That's a decision.
It's my con. fun. I'm gonna take the average. So 6 more hit points brings it up to 15. I get Channel Divinity. That's exciting.
I get Radiant Defense. So what she'll be able to do is bless everybody, so the next time somebody hits them, the person that hits them takes 2d10 radiant damage. So, and that's everybody.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have a protection cleric in the Out of the Abyss game I run. He loves that, which is good because they really need it. I can gain proficiency in a skill or tool for 10 minutes. Because I read about it once.
You concentrate real hard.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so for 10 minutes you were a metallurgist.
Yeah. I'm the fucking best smith ever for 10 minutes.
Like make one nail.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. All right, so I just get one more spell slot, first level, and I can prepare one more spell. Basically.
I think the only things I guess I think my enhanced speed kicks in, and I think key points start at level 2. I didn't realize until we started playing my player's handbook was still in my bag from from my trip. Hold on.
Guiding bolt. Give me a little beef.
Ooh. That actually hits for decent damage too.
That's what's the damage? Level 1. Yeah. 4d6 damage, and anyone who goes to hit the next person, I think, who goes to hit them. Is it? Next attack roll made against this target before the end of your next turn has advantage.
Nice.
So, pretty cool. They get hit, and then you gain knowledge of how to hit them better.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah. 2 key points, extra 10 feet of movement.
No, I still had Aiden's picture open. Get out of here, dude.
He's dreamy.
I just wanted to stare into his eyes.
All right, to go ahead. There's just the urge to do a find familiar.
Yeah, I think to be safe, I think I'm just going to take the average for level 2. Might roll after that, so that'd be 5.
Yeah,
Plus
going
1.
from 1 to 2 is one of
Yeah.
the times you want a decent number of hit points.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, because it's 5, and then my con will add another 1, so it'll be 6. So I'm up to a total of 15. So 2 key points, extra 10 feet of movement, and that's yay! That's my leveling done. Super exciting.
Is it worth getting find familiar just to drop octopuses on people's heads?
Yes.
Probably is, but this is the wrong character for it, unfortunately.
Is there a wrong character for that?
Yeah.
Let's see what would have happened if I had rolled that d8. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
It's all right. So far, I'm pretty sure my average for rolling hit points when I roll them is like a 1.
That's a solid average right there. Solid
That is-
average.
It is a consistent average. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, I pick my School of thought. Da-da-da-da. Do I care about you guys enough to go evocation so I can spare you from spell effects?
Hmm.
Well, if you lose your adventurers, you lose your shield.
As long as I take my enemies with them. It reduces the number of ways I have to divide the treasure at the end.
I am surprised you did not negotiate more money.
It's actually not money that drives him.
In this, we are different.
True, true. Though you did pay up front, which I was a little surprised about.
I paid half up front. I am not stupid.
Well, your library disagrees, so.
Just because I don't use library does not mean I don't keep inventory.
Well, we'll see what happens.
We will indeed.
No regrets. It's important.
Not even one letter. No regrets.
Not even one letter.
All right. Where's my actual book here? Because I know they're missing spells, and I always forget about them.
I think the rain is finally done here. Is it finally hitting you, Rob?
I mean, I heard thunder earlier a couple times, but I don't hear rain hitting the AC unit outside, so I don't know. I'll look at a radar map and see what it looks like. I know when I checked earlier, there was it looked like there was a storm line moving in.
It also dropped like 10 degrees.
Oh, it looks like the worst of it hasn't quite hit us yet, but that it will be momentarily. Yeah, it says it says a high, or is this what it actually is? That's the forecast. Yeah, it says like 63 right now. But yeah, looks like the storms are going to be popping in just a little bit. Probably just getting some rain right now.
You guys sound like you got cool stuff. I'm gonna have to have cool stuff. I want cool stuff.
All right. I think I'm good other than debating over spell choices. So I'm going to pop off, and I will catch you guys next week.
Okay.
And if any questions come up, hit me up.
Okay.
And I will stumble around in the dark for a while. Cool. See you guys.
Good night.
Later. Yeah, I was gonna say there wasn't much to do for mine. Add 10 feet to my movement, 2 key points, and that's it. Extra hit points. So I'm good for next week.
Yeah,